Okay, tea is made, ready to go. Let's do it. All right. Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to the channel, to today's stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm Eric. I'm your photographer, editor, voice in your head for the next hour and change. Shelby Lynn, hello. I am fueled on a very highly caffeinated Edgar Allan Poe tea in a Hamlet mug. Hey, Stephanie. Today, so hopefully I'm feeling mellow, feeling low, kind of low energy in a good way. By the time we start getting into the stream and getting through this, I will probably be bouncing off the walls. But there we go. All right. So yes, welcome to the stream this week. Today's photos are shots from the beginner photography class that I took, that I taught this weekend. I took the photos kind of right after class ended, so it's some cityscape stuff. It was a little bit rainy, so there's some fun to be had there. It looks like the sun's coming out. Yeah. So, and it's just some basic cityscapes, a couple interesting things. I'm gonna play around with it. Should be fun, nice and easy. Good chill stream for a Monday. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please by all means leave them in chat. Love to make this as much of a dialogue as possible. Please, I know Shelby Lynn and Stephanie will be getting up to hijinks. Please feel free to join in with them. They are absolute masters of hijinkery, so you're in good hands with them. Also, Evelyn and Mia, hi, you guys are great. Keep watching. I love when you watch. Okay, yeah. And as I try to always say, I do this because I want the behind the scenes of post processing to be demystified. There is so much of post-processing of photography that is hidden behind paywalls or hidden behind subscriptions or hidden behind just not talked about, and you only see the final product. And it's kind of the result of our algorithm-driven, content-based, Instagrammable life, where you only see the final product, and thus, we see the final products of everyone's life, and thus we end up feeling inadequate, and it drives us to keep doing it. It's a vicious cycle, and nobody really wants to do the hard work. Nobody wants to do the hard work. There's not really a market to show the hard work, but I think it's important to do. So we're going to do this. That's why we do it. Okay. That all having been said, let's go ahead and jump into Lightroom, which is that button. There we go. So this is, I'm actually not even sure this is the photo. This isn't the first photo we're going to start with. I'm honestly not. Actually, I'm probably going to start with it as a warm up. I don't even know if this photo is going to be the one that I publish, but I've said that before and been wrong. But this is a good one to start with, just to show, because this is, it's the best photo of the location. It's the first photo. Oh, that is hitting so many spots. This is one of the first photos I took when I started. I took a couple at the beginning of the day, and then the rest kind of after class ended. But this is one of the first ones I took, and it's what I tend to find is that the first photos I take tend to be as I'm warming up and getting myself connected to the world through my lens, so they end up kind of the one of the challenges I love this framing is a challenge of a landscape or a nature outdoor non-portrait photographer, is to take photos about the place rather than photos of the place. And typically my shots tend to start out as photos just of the place. So this is a photo of the skyline. And if you see something different in this, that's totally fine. Of course, right now you're just seeing a aggressively zoomed in close-up on trees, but yeah, like you see, there's the monument, there's the skyscrapers back there, you get the bridge, you get a couple of signs, you get the pathways here. It shows you all the things that are there. You can see this other bridge through there, and you can see the water down there. And it shows you the things that are there, but it doesn't really make a statement. Versus a photo like this that we're going to do later on that is a lot of the same elements, but to me, this says more about the place. This has more of a there's more to this. There's more to this. This feels like it's telling more of a story. It kind of guides your eye. I'll we'll see later on shots like this. Actually, even this one's still a good one. There's a couple good ones in here that really, maybe this is the one. I'll find. There's a couple of these that like I think really lean into connecting the dock down here and the way it kind of sticks out into the water with this building here and how it sticks out into the sky, and just highlighting the juxtaposition of it, the kind of following the curve of the path here, even following the river up. So you kind of start here and getting down to there is a great, like, this feels like more of a photo about the place versus a photo of, like this. And so, yeah, I just started with this because the photos of show the place, the photos about are better for it. So, okay. That having been said, yeah, I'm going to start with one of these. Actually, take it back. I'm starting with this one. This is one I took right at the beginning of the day that I just really enjoyed. Before the skies opened up, I really enjoyed the kind of, it's a little bit of blue in the sky, a little bit of, you can see there's a little bit of texture in there, helped by the texture of the windows, and then the reflection of the other building was just really cool. Got a couple different versions of that. So we're gonna play with this. Start off by cropping. I want to get rid of the stuff in the bottom. I want to keep this up at the top because I do like that. Let's set this at 4x5. Yeah, if I can open it up and bring it down a little bit. Can I get that closer to centered? Something like that. Maybe a little bit less. There we go. Something like that. Stick with this. All right. Let's see. I always like to start playing with the big boys. So clarity, texture. I love the warped way the windows reflect windows. That's very cool. So we may play with that a little bit. Bring up the blacks is actually not bad. If I bring up the blacks and bring down the shadow, I don't know. If I bring up the shadows, bring up the shadows, bring down the blacks. That'll give us, that'll keep those dark parts dark while letting the building kind of merge in with the stuff around it. I kind of dig that. If I bring the highlights down, that helps bring that balance back. We still get to this gets to be darker, but still gets to be part of the. So it's going to be the mediator between the darkness of the windows and the reflection and the sky around it. I'm really happy with this. Okay, man, I wish this wasn't as hot as this because I really would just chug this right now. It tastes phenomenal. That tea has been a very like context dependent tea for me, but man, a little bit of honey in that's delicious. Okay. Yeah, there's not a whole lot here that I want to mask and do separately. I like the composition itself kind of invites the conflict between the windows and the reflection. And so I could isolate this and make it a really big thing. I don't really want to. I kind of like that it's all working, kind of enhancing how they're working together a little bit, as much as I want, to a degree. I don't want to make them more conflicting, but I don't want to lose the conflict that already is there. Let's see. Blues are going to be good. Aquas, there's only a little bit. Come on, guy. Come on, Aqua. Aqua's turning into my Arizona Cardinals, where it's just like, come on, guys, just, I get so excited when you do well. There's some purple in here, isn't there? A little bit. Some purple in the sky there. And I'm doing this now because I feel like a lot of the photos later today are going to end up being low saturation. So I'm like, what if I push the blues on this and make this one real satch? I just said that. Okay, that's what we're doing. This is the life we live in. I've just ideologically moved one step closer to Los Angeles. Let's see. Let's keep that bright. Let's go greens. Doing really anything? Nah, not really. And the hijinkery begins. Yeah, it's not my first reference for the word aqua, but it's definitely up there. It's funny, that song will not be in the Barbie movie that's being made, because of because of copyright law. Uh, I don't know if they asked, but I know when the song came out, Mattel sued to try to get that song, try to get it removed, claiming copyright infringement. And were in the case they didn't get anywhere with it, so the song, obviously the song can exist. They were told it's a parody. It's you don't get to tell people they can't say silly things about your product. But because of that, either because Mattel is still mad about this, or Mattel doesn't like it, or now Aqua is has the chance to kind of bite back at them. That song is not going to be in the movie because of this lawsuit that happened years ago when the song came out. Okay. I think inherently makes me support the song more, just given the the damage Barbie has done to standards of beauty. I'm gonna land on the side of the people trolling it. I mean, I guarantee once the movie comes out, there will be tons of people putting montages of it together on YouTube with that song. Guys, I'm pretty happy with this photo. I'm sitting here throwing sliders while we talk about Barbie Girl, but I'm pretty happy with how this looks. This doesn't, yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm actually, it takes me a second to realize what it is, and I kind of get lost in the textures of it, which is what I would love. So cool, that's done, nice and easy. That's what we're starting with. Let's see. We were just talking about Barbie Girl. Okay, let's see. Let's do one of these. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this one. Let's work on this one for a couple of reasons. One, it's I like the composition. I want to crop it in a little bit. And Stephanie, I was listening to classical music before we started. Now that song's in my head, and I can appreciate both, but it's a weird combination. It's a weird combination to have the Schindler's List theme in one ear and then Barbie Girl by Aqua in the other. That's bizarre. And someone remind me to make this clip a short on YouTube so that quote can just be seen by more people. Okay, so yeah, I liked this. So when I took this photo or made this photo, there's another one I did where I was zoomed in a little more, and I liked this, and I went with this one because I can crop it into that other framing and get everything that other picture had with a little more creative freedom to get there. So, the question is, how much of this do I want? Where's the subject of this photo is the question. Where are my eyes drawn? Because if I frame it like this, my eyes sort of go, if I close my eyes and open them, my eyes go to the skyscraper and then sort of kind of follow just down here. I don't really, I eventually get to the white line down here, but I don't get, to the white, I get to the white line, but it's, I don't know, I'm taking the whole photo in, but it's not guiding my eye as much as I want it to. If I kind of come this way, if I go the other corner, now I'm noticing the city more, and the white is even less. Let's go ahead down here and make this more of the focus. Let's split the difference a little. Yeah, let's split the difference. This is on the edge of being a photo of, not a photo about, but I don't mind it too much. I enjoy this composition, and that is the only reason I ever need to do what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So we'll stick with that framing. As usual, I like to play with clarity and play with dehaze because, whoa, hey, that's a mess. That's beautiful. Beautiful, distracting mess. No problem. Stephanie, I can confirm this is what happens when I date you, and Shelby Lynn, I can very confidently say it is not a bad thing. Okay, now here's the interesting thing. We've talked about dust when you have dust on your sensor, and when if it's there and you usually can't see it, but if you turn your f-stop up high enough and and crank your settings, you can eventually your depth of field gets wide enough that it can take in the sensor itself, and you can end up with, getting, the dust that's on the sensor can actually expose in the photographs. In this case, like, this is f11, so I'm not super, like, I'm still definitely high depth, wide depth of field. You definitely can see everything. Like, that building's in focus, but then we come here and, like, the water down here is in focus. So certainly a wide enough depth of field to get everything. But if I were to, I think I can probably do just the blacks. No, maybe not. If I bring the whites, is it the whites? Is that going to do it? A little bit. The bigger thing, if I dehaze this, these two dots appear. And in this case, this is not actually dust on the sensor. That's dust on the sensor. This, I need to clean the sensor. These are water droplets on the lens because it was raining. We're not going to be doing anything with that. Quick peek at a black and white version. Yeah, there's something there. I don't know. I like the red of the buildings. I like that red and the purple there. We're gonna do another version. We're gonna do some edits and then do black and white. Okay. First thing, all right, do I any reason to keep the highlights up for other reasons? Not really. The highlights can kind of come down globally. That's fine. Shadows can also kind of stay where they are. I think I'm gonna. Then once I start playing with clarity and texture, we're gonna start getting some stuff. Okay. Texture up. Yeah, texture. I'm gonna do that as a mask selectively. Clarity bringing up is a good idea. Now I want to bring the shadows up a little bit just to balance out the clarity. It's usually like to bring the blacks down just to 20 or 30%, and just to get to kind of keep that dynamic range because I like having a lot of darks. Let's see if I push what color those buildings are coming in hardcore purple, purples, magentas. If I pull. Are they even showing up as red? Not really. The buildings are coming in pink. Okay. I'm also getting some pink over here, which I think is just the result of the processing the lights and darks. All right. Let's do this in black and white. That's my instinct. I want this in black and white. I want to emphasize the movement and the composition rather than the colors. I'm also going to change my crop a little bit and come down some more. Because I like the idea of being kind of, I like this a lot, but I like the idea of being kind of on the cusp of this waterfall and like, the water flowing and pushing us to the city. I like that a lot. Okay, so now we can start playing with some more stuff. Let's come down here. Texture, I said I was going to do selectively. That is going to continue to be true. Dehaze. I think I'll do dehaze selectively as well. Good, stay there. Let's play with colors a little bit. Now we're just playing with brightness. Yeah, we'll darken the buildings down, get them to stand out a little nice against the sky. It's just me. Is that just me, or is that showing up? I think that's just, I don't know. I feel like when I push the magentas all the way one side or the other, I start getting an interesting pattern on this skyscraper over here. Let me know. I'm gonna look at the screen you guys are seeing. Yeah, I feel like that's showing up. That's interesting. Just in the, and that's the result of like colors that's the result of like the colors kind of fighting against each other. And you don't get it as much when you zoom in. It just seems to be there when I'm in the wide. But okay, one way or the other. I think I prefer them brighter. Then we can darken the reds a little bit or brighten them up a bit. Let's see what we want to do. Yeah, let's brighten them. Let's brighten up the reds. Oranges. What are they? Ooh, oranges are going to give us the rail line. Yeah, that's going to be good. Yellows are giving us the water. Yellows we're going to bring down. We're going to do some decent work with texture in the water, but we're going to bring that down for now. Greens. A little bit of green over there, pop of brightness where we didn't expect. Good with that. Add some detail and some texture to it. That's the thing about my cityscapes is I always want to like highlight the intricacies. Little bits of the Barbie girl band. We'll brighten that up a bit, and then blues is the sky. We're gonna leave that more or less alone. I'm gonna go down as much as I can before I start getting those two dots in the sky, and they're still there. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work on that anyway. Let's bring them down and deal with them like this. There we go. Okay, cool. A couple spots in the sky I got to deal with. I'm gonna deal with that anyway with a mask. Okay, speaking of masking, it's time for masking. Let's mask. Sky first. And tea break. Mwah, delicious. Okay, so this is pretty good. Caught a little bit of the tops of the buildings there, which I'd like to get rid of. So let's go and let's just subtract. Let's see if I can subtract objects. Let me see if I can get it to give me the buildings. Because theoretically, that should be an easy grab because it's a big, square. And I'm probably gonna start skipping a little bit. It's funny. I exercised today and I stretched and I felt great, and then I started exercising my brain. All of a sudden, my body's like, "Ooh, stretch us too." So you know how it goes. Here we go. There we go. Good. So if I take that mask off, I take it on, I get the building back. It's the same thing. Subtract another object. We're gonna get at least 4, maybe 5 buildings individually like this. Like I say, this is there's a reason the Instagram algorithms and the viewership doesn't go for stuff like this, and that's because it's slow. It's a slow process that's not immediately gratifying, but that's how hard work goes. Perfect. Looking good. Let's do it again. Subtract this one. Yeah. I'm sure, actually knowing how good this mic is, I'm sure you heard that. That felt phenomenal. By the way, while I'm waiting for this thing to sort of do its thing, I can talk about my classes. So yeah, did a beginner's class down here at Browns Island, which if you're interested in this kind of thing, there's a website called richmondphotographygroup.com, which is very simple and easy to remember. And they are, let's do this. This must be a little more of a difficult object to get potentially, just because it is, got a few more things in front of it. So we'll see if we can get that. But, yep. But yeah, richmondphotographygroup.com is if you're interested in taking a class. There's obviously I work there. I'm gonna leave some of these buildings in the back sort of touched by the sky because I think that will help the blending, especially since I'm removing all the main ones. But yeah, richmondphotographygroup.com. There's a couple of photographers who work for the company. And we do various classes. So if you want to do a beginner's class with me, if you're interested in getting into photography, or if you've been doing photography for years and are still want to maybe the goal of the class that I think I stole from somebody else, but the goal is to say we're going to get you onto manual mode. We're going to get you off of auto and get you not scared of the M on your camera. Okay, cool. So now we've got the sky selected with everything else now, with the buildings now removed, which is great. So now we can be more specific with stuff. Anyway, hey, really take the dehaze up, make a big deal out of it. Why don't I push the clarity all the way? And the texture I really don't need. There's nothing in the clarity. There's nothing in the sky today that I really need to make a thing out of. So I think just letting dehaze kind of brighten it up. Yeah, there's no reason for this not just be a white sky. I can't think of a reason why it shouldn't be. We can brighten this up and just get a nice white horizon there. That looks pretty cool. I'm happy with that. I think that's a cool use of negative space. But yeah, so beginner class, we go through f-stop, ISO, aperture, f-stop and aperture, the same thing. Trick question. Shutter speed. We talked a little bit about the histogram in this last class. We talked about composition. And yeah, so it's a fun time. And those classes happen, I can do them. I do them in several different locations with up to 6 people each time. And There's also same location, which is kind of the reason I'm practicing with this. Is I'm next month I'm doing not next month, no next month. It's still February for a day and a half. Um, I'm doing a black and white photography meetup in the same spot where we're gonna do. Man, talk about the difference playing with these sliders makes, even in black and white. Keep tweaking this a little bit. See if there's something. See if there's a look that I end up liking. That's going too bright. That's going way too dark and too dull in a way. It's dulling the colors for me. Let's go this way. Nah, same thing. Kind of dulling the colors. And this way. That's not bad, but I think I'm good with what we're gonna do. In a sec, I might push it a little bit though, a little more toward green. I don't know. I think I like it as is with my own stuff. But yeah, we're gonna do a black and white meetup, which is less of a class and more of just kind of we're gonna do this with linear gradients and subtract and then brushes. Yeah, it's less of a class and more of we're gonna get together in this spot and we're gonna talk about here's some cool spots to take pictures, and then we're gonna sort of branch out and just kind of everyone gets to take their photos and work and learn from each other. That'll be fun. So yeah, if anyone in the Richmond area is interested in that kind of thing, we still have spots available for the black and white class, and we're working on a couple others as well. Let's see. Let's do an add brush or an add. Actually, I'm just doing intersect with. Oh, intersect with. Yeah, let's do intersect with. Let's try that. Linear. This might actually need. No, I think I need to do an add. Yeah, I need to do an add. Okay. Add linear gradient. There we go. Phone, why must you vibrate? Gotcha. Group chats responding about meetings. So, it's coming up to here. Just gonna get. Yeah, it's good. That's good. Yeah, we'll do it like that. If I need to add the bridge, the edges of the ends of the bridge back in, I will. I don't think I do. Duplicate and invert, and now I've got the water in a pretty good way. So now, in the water's where I'm going to have some fun. We're going to darken the water. The water is going to get all the details, and this is going to turn into, this is going to be, I don't want to go too dark because I don't want it to be, if I go too dark with my darks on this photo, it ends up, like, I lose the continuity between the water and the world around it, and that's important. It's important to me to maintain that. A little bit of dehazing though isn't bad. Though not as much. I don't know. Maybe not. Trying to find the right way to darken without removing the energy that you get from that, because it's easy to, for our eye to be drawn to this bright white edge and to not pay attention to this darker section, which is fine. But the darker section is in many cases just sort of a frame along the bottom. But because the water is moving as it rushes over the edge here, it is it's that darkened section is providing a good source of movement through the photo, and so I don't want to lose that. I want that to feel like it's still an important part of the shot. And we're cropped all the way to the bottom. That's fine. But I'm kind of happy with that. I think that looks pretty good. Let me see. Go back to these masks if I need to. No, not the red eye thing. Turn it off. Turn it on. Turn it off. Okay. Yeah, I want to do a quick subtraction here. Subtract. Man, I've fallen head over heels in love with the object brush. That thing's just been great. Let's let it see if it can get the bridge support there. For those of you who can't see the mug, how did we get there? Oh, we got it. Nice. Hamlet is doing Alas Poor Yorick with the skull, and there's a skeleton standing behind him who looks none too happy about this kind of Ponzi prince swiping his cranium. I say that derisively as someone who's played the role and has immense respect for the character. Does that area need to be darkened? I don't think it does. I was going to darken the area under the bridge over here, but I don't think I need to. I think these blend pretty well across the board. Okay. One more thing I wanted to do. New mask. Object is, we're going to we're gonna grab ourselves a couple of skyscrapers and play with texture, because I want the texture up on those guys, but I don't want it on everything. So, nah, Shelby Lynn, you're still in the same photo. This hasn't changed. Unless you're watching this from so far in the future that I'm on to the next photo. I don't know. No, this is the same photo. I'm just, I don't know, made enough adjustments that it feels like a different photo. That's why post-processing is important. I honestly don't know if I know my video skips a little bit when I do this. I have no idea if my sound is skipping as well. Cool, so we got that. Let's add, I might subtract the brush at the bottom. I don't think I need to. I don't think it's gonna be too obvious. Another object. Let's get us this building. Down to the bottom there, up over, there we go. By the way, if you're in the Richmond area, the bridge I'm on here is called the T. Tyler Pottersfield Bridge. You can get to it from Browns Island, but it's also part of the much larger kind of flood wall walk, which kind of goes through the area on the far side of the river and then comes across, and you've got the, this area down Browns Island. You've got the murals further down, and then you get the pipeline eventually. So it's part of a good thing. It's a walking bridge across the river with some gorgeous spots. So cool, got that. We're gonna add one more. Gonna get this guy. Yeah, theoretically, I could just duplicate that last one and drag it over, but this is easy. Don't worry, Shelby Lynn. We'll be here when you get back. Wait for it. There we go. Cool. Got all three. Now I can up the texture on them. I can help kind of make the more elaborate parts of the skyline. I actually want to add this fourth one down here because they are kind of the four that we are noticing. And it would be a shame to leave this one out. I'm going to do this and try to get the whole thing. And then I'll probably have to do a subtract brush to just get rid of that line of bridge going through. But we'll see. There we go. Looks like we got it. Let's see the overlay. It got rid of the bridge. Even better. Rock on Lightroom. Cool. All right. So there's that. And then I'm going to do... do I want to do this one more time and kind of get everything? I kind of do, and then want to selectively subtract. Let's do that. Okay. So create new map. All right. So first I'll turn this on and off just to see the difference. Yeah, that texture, pulling that texture out is very nice, especially selectively. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do a brush. This will be fun. This will be something I don't think I've done this as a technique before. All right, we're gonna get the brush real big, and we are gonna paint this whole thing. We're getting the whole picture. I want the entire frame to start with as a mask. Excellent. Cool, cool, cool. So now we're going to, step one, we're going to subtract the sky. This is going to be about texture. Oh no, Shelby Lynn, we're going to miss you. But don't worry, the stream will always be here. So yeah, we're just going to subtract the sky to get rid of that. Now here's the thing, because everything else, a lot has already been textured up, I'm not really gaining a lot of texture on the buildings or on the water. They've kind of been done. That being said, you know what? I'm wondering. Well, you know what? I got a new idea. Get rid of this. I got this mask down here. Get rid of this mask. I'm not going to do it. I got this mask down here that I use basically just to help me define the water. So we're going to go and use that. I didn't do anything else with it. So we're going to subtract the sky. Same thing we just did with the other mask, but now we're going to get rid of... There we go. So now we've got everything kind of... The water we've already done texture with, and the buildings we've already done texture with. So I don't need to worry too much. I'll bring the texture up about 40%. I want to see the overlay the whole time on this one, though. And then we're going to do a subtract brush. I'm actually I'm going to turn feathering all the way up. I'm going to bring the size of the brush way down. And I'm going to use the flow feature, which I really don't use that much. And if I do this, let's see, which is the best way to do it? Okay, there we go. Cool. So undo, undo. All right, so subtract brush, flow at like, let's do it at 50%. And now I can subtract most of this. Don't want to move that. Just want to brush with it. And I can subtract with this brush. And the flow is based on how many times you go over it. Flow is basically the amount of paint on the brush, if you want to think in analog terms. So I can use this and kind of like scrub over these areas and remove the texture from the spots I don't want it, while keeping it more of where I do, which is great. Let's come over here. Let's get rid of kind of the horizon there. I'm gonna keep it on the legs of the bridge because I like that. We're going to minimize this for a sec so I can get this section over here and take the flow off of that. It doesn't have to be exact. We're playing with texture. Texture is the non-exact, is one of the less exact ones. Let's get in there. Good. Let's get a little bigger and get out here. Let's get rid of some of this. There we go. All right, if I turn the overlay off, let's see what this looks like. If I turn the mask on and off, there we go. Adds that little bit of texture to the bridges. That's what I wanted. Awesome. Just collective use of masks. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this photo's done. Let's take a look at the before and after. Yeah, love it. Sharper. Really, yeah, highlights the textures of it. You've got some really nice contrast in there. I'm happy with it. I really, really like that. All right, 3 stars, and we move on. This one's got water droplets all over my lens. I think there's only one I need to worry about. Let's play with this because it's fun to do this kind of shot. All right, give me, nope, I want to crop first. So this is do this like that. I'll come up to the edge of the bridge. You know, let's adjust my horizon first, which in this case, I'm going to be following the lines of the bridge. I think that's better. Cool. So, where do I want to go? Do I want to go all the way down? Do I want to go all the way up? I think all the way up is better. We're going to have a lot of dead space in this photo, and that is going to be good. I'm okay with that. All right, now let's, again, adjust our horizon just to find the middle ground. That's 130. It's 178. That looks way off. Jeez. Let's try that again. Something like that. 86, 130, 130, 86. Let's just go to 1. Split the difference there. Okay. Let's get our shots as wide as we can. Yeah, and then we'll go all the way up to get that aspect ratio. Nice. It's funny. This actually reminds me of the shot Stephanie and I took of the planets aligned over the city because it was kind of arranged in the same way as these water droplets. Can I make them part of the? I can make them part of the photo. Guys, I can make them part of the photo. I think I'm going to make them part of the photo, at least for one version of this. That bridge still, yeah, I'll trust it's going the right way. Okay. So, first things first, second version. Very little I'm going to do here that's not going to be immediately changing what I've got. Okay. So, yeah, this is going to be a chaotic as fuck photo, and I'm happy about that. Let's see, texture, we're going to do selectively. Clarity, same thing. Excuse me. Highlights, yeah, highlights are going to come for this one. Where I'm going to try to pull out those water droplets as an artistic part of the photo. We're going to be bringing stuff down. No, whites are coming down. We want detail in the sky. Blacks, sort of the same thing. We're gonna do this as masks and brighten them up. Clarity enhances it, so good. Clarity's going to come up. Texture also sort of enhances, so that's good. And then dehaze, we know really brings out the fun. Okay, cool. So reset all that. And this one's going to be a story of 2 masks for the most part. Sky and not sky. Let's see how this goes. Okay, there's the sky. Cool. Duplicate and invert. We got our 2 masks. Sweet. Okay, so here I'm going to bring up the clarity, but I'm also going to bring up the shadows. I want this to be much more balanced. A little bit of blacks to just have some darkness there. Texture all the way up. I love the texture on this bridge. I love the metal work down here. I love the like kind of lattice on the netting. I love all of it. We're gonna keep that. In the sky, that's where the fun starts. Clarity, texture. Let's see. We know we want highlights and shadows down, which is good. Black's coming down as well. It's helpful. I'm gonna have to smooth over that transition moment, but I'm not gonna worry about it for now. Let's bring up the noise reduction to help get rid of some of that. Let's bring down the sharpness, which will help get rid of some of that noise. Let's see, contrast. Up the contrast, reduce the contrast. This is turning into an otherworldly photograph just using the water droplets. We're going to recrop this. We're going to bring it down. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to readjust my angle. I think the best way to do this is to follow the angle of the bridge is my current thought. We'll see if that holds, but let's see. Go there to there. Yeah, that's better. Let's come on up here so we got a bit of a... There we go. Yeah, that feels... I feel like I still want to split the difference here, but I feel like that's pretty... That's pretty level. Maybe a little overcorrected. Let's come back the other way. We can do this by hand, aren't you? Something like that. Let's go with that. I think that looks... Yeah, that's good. It's almost there. It's going to drive me crazy trying to get this right. There we go. There we go. I'm happy with that. Okay. Let's keep working on it. I'm going to bring this up a bit. All right, I want this as wide as we can go. So let's go ahead and... Guys, if I can move it left and right, I can... There's a more extending I can do. Please let me do it. What else? Stick with this. Get that sort of centered. There we go. This is getting haunting, and I really love it, despite how crazy it is. All right, let's see what else we can do here in terms of cleaning some stuff up. Let's see. Give me a new mask of the sky. New mask of the sky while I see what my phone is getting up about. Nah, that's cool. All right, and then we're going to... What was I going to do? Subtract with a brush. And mostly what I want is the edge. Yep, let's turn the flow back all the way up. There we go. I want the edges of the sky because I want to darken them down. Stuff at the top is pretty much fine, but I want the edges around here. Cool. We're going to reduce the texture a little bit. Just the sharpness again. There we go. That's starting to come along. Let's do a little bit of healing, which is funny because I'm not fixing a lot of I'm not fixing the obvious problems. I'm fixing the other ones. Yeah, the feather doesn't need to be high for this. Let's clean. Let's get rid of this. Spot there. Let's put good. I want to get rid of this one. This one down here is kind of in the way of my collection. And then we had a couple of actual spots of dust on the lens that we're gonna just quickly polish off here. Couple of spots. Yeah, I need to give my lens a decent cleaning, or my sensor a decent cleaning. Okay. Now I'd like to have it to get this whole side and get this cleaned up a little bit. Let me see if I can do that. Let me see how much this thing balks at the idea of me asking it to clean all of this. Just to sort of get rid of some of those streaks that were on the lens. That looks horrendous. Try again. Give you one more shot with that, and then I'm just gonna go along with it and play and kind of give up. Yeah, that's what you got. Okay. I think that just got worse. Jeez. That's better. Let's bring this down to the middle here. And tell you to fix that. That's not bad, actually. I can live with that, especially because I'm going to vignette this photo. We're going to do that right now because that'll give it a nice otherworldly look. Going to vignette a little bit. Not that much. Just a bit. Come on. A little bit of vignetting. Let's just do like -8. -8. We can turn the feathering up or down. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Just the midpoint if we wanted to. Don't need to too much. Yeah, something like that. That looks good. Go back to the healing brush real quick and let's get rid of this one spot right there. I'm really impressed this photo's still in color. What happens if I crank the saturation and vibrance? What happens if I really push this up? It looks like that. Okay. That looks utterly horrendous. This one's going to be black and white. We're all better off that way. Let's come down and start playing with our color sliders now a little bit. So we can start getting some nice detail in there. And this guy, I'm kind of leaning into like the the kind of thing you'd see in the X-Files of like, here's a photo of evidence that you need to be reevaluated because I don't like what you look like. Yeah, I like that. Kind of, yeah. What you'd think of as like an evidence photo in X-Files of like something that's like, it's a grainy photograph somebody shot of the sky with, and we could see the aliens. Brightening the bridge up a little bit. Reds a little bit. Yellows having any effect? A little bit. Actually, a substantial one there. I think it actually hurts. I think we're better off being dark. Better off letting that be dark because that lets us, the white of the bridge draws our eye, but we still get to go to the focus still ends up being the black dots in the sky. All right, this guy over here is driving me crazy. We're going to switch to this. Better. That solves that problem. Excellent. Let's see what else we can do. Back down to color. We've kind of touched on everything except green. Green has a surprising presence. Okay. Yeah, brighten that up. Let that be its thing. Magenta. Really not doing much. A little bit on the bridge, but not enough for me to take note of. Cool. All right. Let's come to. Give me that back. Let's come back to our mask of the bottom here. I feel like there's a little more we can do. Let's bring that down, bring the highlights up a bit. I want that to be bright without it being overwhelming. So maybe just bring the highlights down just a couple of notches to be dark enough that we can work with it, that it can be part of this. The texture is already all the way up on that, which is good. Still looks smoothed out. I'm not sure why. We're going to up the sharpness, which will help. Could up the clarity. Don't think we need to. Like, We've already got a very high contrast thing going on in the sky. I don't want to overdo it. Okay. I'm actually pretty happy with this. As ridiculous as it looks. Yeah, sure. I'll let you update the sky. So you tell me what you think, where you think the sky needs to be now. I don't think did that change at all? No, didn't change. And there's part of me that wants to like get rid of this glow around the city down there, but I don't really hate it. I kind of actually kind of like that. It it kind of has that city upon the hill feeling that then gets all freaky because the sky looks like this. Do I want to play with color up here at all? Just as a question. Okay, wow, that's just grain. That's just noise. Going super dark is an option, but I don't really. I'll go a little darker with it, but I don't want to go too dark. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Push toward green, could push back. Yeah, it has a very something kind of is coming for us kind of vibe to it. I actually really like that. Sure, you can update the sky too. It's not going to change anything. Let's come down to our color sliders. Where'd they go? Here they are. Because now we're getting a good amount of weirdness in there, and I want to compensate for that. Let's smooth that out just a little bit. Cool. That's all kinds of freaky, and I really like it. I'm going to adjust my crop a tiny bit more because I want to bring it in just a bit like this to kind of get everything on the same page there. Get some real good symmetry going on. Come up just a touch. This is one of those things where it's like, okay, if I want it to look like this is designed to be post-apocalypse, I would do it like this, where it's like, yes, the weird things in the sky are a compositional element of the photograph, and if I bring it up to here, there we go. That's the vanishing point is kind of right under center, and then the sky is a huge part of it. I'm gonna stop this and kind of let it sit and be a thing. And then that having been said, if I wanted it to be, if I wanted to play it up as like, no, this happened to get in the shot, I'd bring it down to here. And I'd have it like this, or even kind of like that, which I don't hate actually. I'd come down like this, kind of half get that one. And now the photo is like, oh, it was about that, but then what are the strange things in the sky? Feels a little more accidental. I kind of like that better actually. We're gonna do that, which is weird. It's a bit of a kill your darlings moment where I'm like, I really love the symmetry of all of the beautiful arc of all three of them in the sky, but I think this works better. This becomes more about. Yeah, you see the bridge more, you notice the bridge, and it's like, yeah, it feels like there's something else in the sky. Okay, one other thing. Give me the sky. Give me a, let's see, subtract brush. Let's get rid of all of this. Just want this one little edge over here, because I want to play with it. Add brush. That's much better. Yeah. Much better. Much more interesting. Much smoother. I'm very happy about that. These are alarms. I'm going on here. Sorry guys, quick check on stuff. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, cool. So yeah, I like that. It has we got this nice curve here that looks sort of, I actually want to lean into that. Let me do a new brush. Brush. Density kind of down to here. Let's actually forget the brush. Actually, no, I'll do it with a brush. That's fine. And then I will subtract the sky, I'll do a select sky thing so I can just get the So yeah, if I brush onto the land, I don't have to worry about it. Though, who knows? Come up to here, get a little bit of that. There we go. Cool. And we'll do this as a shadow adjustment, just to bring a little more of that down. I bring the highlights down. Nah, I can get rid of this, but I don't want to. I want to kind of have this darkness in here. Turn the density up to get this extra edge, so I can get anything there. Overlay. Cool. So something like that I think looks good, and then we will just do a subtract. We'll subtract the sky, so it's going to delete. It's going to get rid of everything. So the overlay is now just that stuff, and then I'll invert that, so we just get everything that's not it. Perfect. Cool. All right. Yeah. As a final photo, happy. Let's do a quick peek at before and after. There you go. Really substantially different. We're having fun with it. Now let's do the other version where we're going to make this look more like a normal photo. So let's start with our aspect, start with our angle. Because I still am not happy with this. Let's come across to here. Not exactly how I'm going to do it. Still do this by hand seems like the best way to do it. Bring this down so our vanishing point is kind of right in the middle, which I like. Though, I don't know. Using the negative space is actually a lot of fun. Yeah, okay, cool. So, let's do a same deal here. Selecting sky and then selecting not sky. Didn't make the bridge longer. Just changing perspective, really good can have a huge impact. All right, so we're gonna work on the sky and bring the highlights up. Bring the whites up. So leave the clarity alone. Bring up the texture. Only because there's a couple of spots down here. Like the sky is kind of hitting on a couple spots down there. I don't want to lose the texture on them on the seam. Yeah, we're gonna let this go all the way to white. I have no problem with that being overexposed, which it is completely, and I'm fine with that. Actually, in this photo, I'm really happy. That actually is a good thing. Could go very dehazy. But no, I don't think I need to. Sharpness down, noise reduction up, just for funsies. I'm gonna bring the, let's see, what I like down here. If I'm gonna go down and look at the only spots that are, yeah, let's keep the blacks up. Shadows, yeah, it's gonna stay up. We're gonna do the similar thing to the rest of the photos. So that's fine. No, didn't Photoshop to make it longer. It's just the kind of the effect of the crop makes it look like you notice. Here's the thing: if I go back to cropping here, if I come down to like this, I feel like you notice. Yeah, if I come down to this, I feel like you see more of the bridge, and so it doesn't feel like it. You feel like you see the whole thing, but if I do. All right, finish this crop and then undo that so it goes back to here. Like this, because you see less of it, you pay more attention to the point in the center where it seems like it just disappears into infinity, and that makes it seem longer. So there you go. Yeah, here's what the second one looks like, Shelby Lynn, as you come back to this. Here's how this is coming, which looks, oh man, it's so chaotic. It's so aggressively not photogenic, and I love it. But now let's make this one look good. Okay, so... so masking wise, we've turned the sky into this white blob. We're gonna bring the saturation on it down, even though it's pretty much completely overexposed, so saturation doesn't matter at all. Let's come down to here and let's play with saturation and color. And we'll leave them alone. Let's see. All right, highlights. Highlights up, I think, is a good idea. Shadows down a bit is good. Blacks down a bit more is also good. It'll bring the bridge out some more. Texture. Do I want to do texture? Do I want to do that? Nah, I think I want texture on everything. Or how about clarity? I want clarity on everything. No, I want clarity around the bridge, but not necessarily on it. I'm gonna bring the clarity up a little bit as a global adjustment. Just 20% or 15 to 20%. Though even then, no, the bridge is better off without it. Let's do it. Let's mask it. New mask, linear. A couple of linear masks here. So we get that. Let's get the edge of the bridge. Add linear. Shebelin, we've had this conversation. Not a wizard, detective. And if I was a wizard, and if I did make the bridge longer in Photoshop, that still doesn't make me a wizard. All right, let's come down like that. Try to find this angle where I can get the water, but not the bridge. Is that it? Did I just find it? I think I just found it. Cool. Now we're going to subtract the sky. Nice. That gives us everything else. And now I can crank the clarity. And we can get some really nice darks in there. This photo is not yet in black and white, which baffles me because it's about to be, but it's not there yet. Can brighten those up a little bit to kind of counteract the clarity, but to still get that nice detail in it. And I can crank the texture, but I don't need to because the texture's already up. Yeah, crank the texture up a little bit. It's not bad. Dehazing. No, shouldn't. Brightening it up actually is pretty good. I actually like that a lot. I can put the shadows back. Somewhere in the middle. Come down like that. Cool. Oh, that's looking good. All right. Let's come down to color. Let's see if there's anything I want to do color-wise. I think I probably just want to put this thing in black and white and call it a day, but let's see. It's a lot of yellows. That's kind of the thing, is because the James River, you leave it to its own devices, it's going to end up looking yellow. Ooh, bring up the oranges. That looks good. Oranges and reds. Let's do those. Those will be fun. Purples? Not really. Let's leave them alone. Because I got to check and see if there's any aquas. There's not. Leave that alone. Can brighten the reds, not really much to do. Brighten the oranges, kind of happy to leave them more or less where they are. Yeah, something like that. And then the other thought I just had is I now have a mask. It's pretty much just the water. I can push that a little toward blue. That's too much. Let's do -15. Push that a little toward blue. Let's do a duplicate and invert, and then we will just get rid of the sky. So we just have the bridge. That'll go to push this to like -5, so it fits in there. Then again, let's see. The last one we leaned into some grime. I don't really necessarily want to, but I don't want to lose the detail of the bridge because I do like that. I feel like black and white is probably the way to get rid of that problem. Yep, black and white. That's the way to go. Well, okay then. But yeah, I like this. This is cool. Actually, I want to darken that bridge a little bit. I think I want to do it just with exposure. That's too much. That's too much. Let's do it selectively. Contrast. Let's do it that way. By putting the highlights and shadows near each other and the whites and blacks near each other, I'm trying to keep I'm trying to keep the. It's a good idea, Shelby. Let me think about that. Trying to keep the contrast low. If you put them near each other, that kind of helps. Because if they're distant, there's going to be more contrast. Something like this looks pretty cool. I'm trying to think of a way to do it with Shelby, to take your advice and do it with some color. Let me do a duplicate. There's your black and white version. Let's come back to color. Let's come back and play with color on this one. Let's see. So the suggestion would be all right, I think I like that. Okay, happy about this. Let's set this to -10. Could use a circle. Actually, probably gonna do something. Gonna either do circle or gonna do linear. Let me figure out how I want to do that. Actually, circle would. Let's try it. Let's do a new mask. Let's try radial. Let's try with a circle. Let's get a circle. Turn the feathering all the way up, so that we've got a nice linear thing going on here. We've got a nice, nice slow progression to the center. I'm gonna turn it on, bring that down just a little bit, so we do get a little bit of that circle. I can put that right in the middle there, and now I'll bring it back up to 85%. Cool. So we'll do it like that. We will turn the saturation up there, or desaturate everything else. I'm gonna do an invert on this, but first things first, we're gonna do a subtract sky. So we just get, there we go, we just get that section. And then, so it looks like that. Then we'll push a little bit more toward gold. Push the saturation up, something like that. And then I'm going to do a duplicate and invert to get some everything else. Gonna again get rid of the sky, so I just get, and we're gonna once again subtract the sky. There we go. So we get that, and this is gonna get desaturated, so that we are slowly drawn into this. Next thing we're gonna do a subtract brush. Actually, hang on. I think I'm on the wrong mask. This one. Let's say we're gonna do I don't want to do this one. Do I want to subtract or do I want to add? No, I want to subtract. Subtract brush. Set at low density, about 50%, so that I can take it off more of the bridge. There we go. It's not getting rid of all of it, just getting rid of just about half. That's looking pretty cool. Okay. But then again, I think I think I might have been right to go with linear instead of circle on this one, because otherwise, because I like the whole. I kind of like the idea that it's the whole ending there. We just all we did was push that to 29. Let's try this with linear, with a linear gradient. Let's turn that off. New mask, linear gradient. Come on, give me the gradient. There it is. Cool. All right, I'm gonna do it like this. We push this to 29, which is cool. All right, good. Let's keep working here. Let's see the overlay. We're going to put that right in the center where it belongs. We're going to balance this like this. We're going to extend it so it comes down to the bridge, kind of like that. I'm going to find that middle ground. Good. Still doesn't seem quite balanced. Something like that seems better. Subtract the sky. It gives us that. So out the overlay, it looks like that. And we crank the saturation up. That is cool looking. Let's do the inverse. So let's see, duplicate and invert. I'm going to get rid of the sky and then also subtract this guy. Make sure we just get this stuff here. And this gets desaturated. Down like that. Yeah, somewhere in the middle. That's better. Let's see, and then I can use yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. It kind of gives you that, does look like it's guiding you to another place. Cool. And then on here I want to subtract brush 50%. Let me see the overlay. Let's zoom in, and I want to subtract the bridge as much as I can, or at least, you know, half of it. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Gives you a little bit of color. And then this one down here, I could even, if I wanted to, I could push it a little bit toward blue, which will help a bit with the desaturated look to it. Ah, I like that. Okay, cool. That's gonna make sure the sky is totally desaturated, which it is. Can push it toward blue or toward gold, but it doesn't really matter because it's overexposed anyway, so that's fine. Yeah, okay, cool. 3 stars, happy with that. So there's that one. There's the fully black and white version. Looks like that. And then there's the, you know, aliens landing among us version, which looks like this. Then I like all 3. I really do. Cool. Okay, let's do, let's go down here and do one of these, because these guys are the ones that I really like. So let's shot one of these shots. Yeah, this is a shot I kind of want to start with. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do this photo. Step 1, crop to 11:17, which is turning into one of my favorite aspect ratios. I'm gonna bring this down a bit. Yeah, part of me wants to bring it down so that it's really just the focus there. Part of me doesn't. Part of me wants this to include everything like that. That's actually pretty cool. I bring this in like that, down. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's take a look at this. Be a little wider. What's my 50:32? Let's go a little bit bigger. I want to submit these for publication. They got to be a little tiny bit bigger, something like that. So then I got to worry about that water droplet, but that's fixable. Let's take a look. Almost there. Piece by piece. Why am I cropping this for publication? Let's just crop it for me. I need to adjust it, I will. What I want to get here, there's the frame I want. Let's go, I can even go a little bigger and not feel bad about it. What I want to get here is I want the juxtaposition and the kind of concept of, like, you know, big city boils down to just small dock. Like, that feels, this dock feels accessible. It feels human. It feels like the kind of, you know, it's a small thing that, you know, I feel like you want someone just sitting, like a kid sitting there fishing or something. But this has this feeling of small accessible town leads to big city. It's a good progress wise. I really like it. Black and white, I'm gonna love it. But let's start with color, because there's a lot of good color in this. Actually, we're gonna have fun with some color here. Clarity up, not all the way. This photo is not about the harshness, at least not yet. Actually, now that I've got the crop, I'm gonna go ahead and do a second version so that I have 2. There we go. Cool. One of these, and I'll put one in black and white and one in color, and we will just work on the color one first, and then we'll come back to the black and white. Texture, yeah, texture up on this one. Texture makes sense, but I also want to soften it, so we're gonna bring the shadows up. This one, I want this to be a little softer. Bring the highlights down. I don't need to. This one doesn't need to be super overexposed, and we're not even overexposed in the sky. That's good. We got this spot up here to deal with. Let's see what we can do with that. Let's come to our healing brush. Let's go bigger, and we'll click here and see if it can handle that. If I tell it to do this, tell it to do an autocorrect. No, that looks horrendous. Okay, try again. Pull this up here. Okay. Try to tell it to correct off of itself. Let's see if I can tell it to do that. Nah, all I succeeded in doing was moving that thing a little bit to the left. All right, let's delete these and work on this again. So I zoom in. Let's zoom in here. Okay, cool. Another reason to just brighten the sky to the point that it is. Might be the thing to do. Just get, there's not a whole lot of texture in the sky, anyways. Let's do this with masks. Let's get the sky. Cool. Now we're going to subtract objects again, as we've done in the past. And the real question is, can I get this building? That is what I would like. I would like this building subtracted from the sky. Because if I can do that, then it's gonna. If it can isolate the edges, it can then get rid of the. Then be able to it'll get rid of the. I can easily edit the part of this that's above the sky and the part of this that's below it, or it's above the edge of the building and the part that's below. Excuse me while I turn the saturation on my webcam down. This is getting. I feel like this is looking ridiculous. Let's turn that color intensity down a bit so it looks a little more reasonable. Okay, not bad. Let's zoom in here. Zoom into 100%. That's really not bad, apart from that one little spot there that I will fill in real quick with a brush. That came out really good. Okay, cool. Yes, this is one spot. Add brush. Oh, let's turn the density back up. Turn the feathering down, because this is some actual edges here. There we go. Let's make sure we smooth out the. Or else the top of the flagpole was already selected, so let's make it consistent. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay. Once again, subtract object. And as always, pick a building. I wonder if I can get both these in one. I wonder if I can tell it it's one thing and see if it'll get both. I can get that third one down there. Let's try that. Tell it it's all one big thing. Nice. Yeah, didn't get rid of the back one, but I'm actually okay with the back one still being part of it. But it got the main two, and that's great. Same deal. Subtract. We're gonna get these. We're gonna get our last two over here. 50%, please. There we go. Gonna get these two, and then we'll be good to start working on with this mask. There we go. That was very, very refreshing tea. I was not expecting that to be that just fantastically invigorating. Big fan. If you're in Richmond, go to the Edgar Allan Poe Museum and buy their Edgar Allan Poe tea. It is potent as hell in the best way. All right. Cool. We have our sky minus our buildings, which is good. Bring the shadows up. Could bring the whites up, and that would really deal with it. But we're already overexposed. I'm not too worried about that, but I'm a little worried about it in this case because I like this photo. I don't want it to be. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to push to overexposure. I want to push close. I don't want to go over. Clarity down, texture down is gonna go a long way, and then dehazing. Dehazing is not pushing us to overexposure, is it? Is this, no, this is on. Okay. I push the whites, we're overexposed. Okay, but everything else is fine. Cool. Yeah, dehazing to that degree is probably not helping, but push it up, put it like that, leave it alone. Actually, no, I'm taking that. I don't want that. I want this. Yeah, I want this bright and just kind of allowed to do its own thing. Let's go with that. That looks pretty good. Yeah, leave it alone. It's doing some too much. It's taking away too many branches of the tree over there, and I kind of want them to stay where they are. Blacks. Pushing the blacks up actually works pretty well, and then whites is where we start overexposing. So whites are going to stay. Whites are going to be left alone. Cool. All right, now if I go back to healing, we zoom in over here. I bring this down. Can I tell it to get this thing here without having to worry about touching the building? That's not quite exact. Let's go back to this version of it. This. That'll solve the problem. And now we zoom in even more. Now I should be able to tell it. No, come back to here. Should be able to have it get stuff on the building now and clean it out separately. That looks awful. Let's try that again. I'm gonna let it just be there. It'll let it be a little weird little lip on the top of the thing. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with how that looks anyway. Okay, so that's good. It's coming along well. Let's do. What do I want to do with this? Because I'm very happy with how it's looking so far. I mean, here's the thing. It takes a lot of practice to get this healing right, and when I mess it up, I go through several very aggressive mistakes before I get something that looks good and seems to work. And I'm not sure you want to trust the doctor to just sort of guinea pig his way to a cure, because that's certainly what I'm doing. Let's see. There's some good colors in this. The colors here are just pretty good. For that contrast. There we go. Cool. Alright, let's see. How's this looking down here? Looking pretty good. How are we looking up here? Also looking pretty good. Let's see. I'm trying to decide if there's anything I want to do with the canal here, because I would like this to be a different color, but let me try an object mask. Let me try this huge object mask here. See if I can get the whole canal. See if I can get it to give me all the water down here. Yeah, I don't want the dock. Just the water. I'm gonna outline it first. Then we're just gonna color this whole section in. Normally I'd go to a bigger brush, but I can't because an object selection you have to do all at once, and I needed a smaller brush to select the details, so yeah, we got to draw the whole thing in with a little brush, so it takes some time. Just gonna divide and conquer, just bit by bit. The real world behind the scenes of photo processing is slow and boring. So I can get the edge here. Let's get the edge over here. Cool. All right. Detect that. I feel like it's a big ask, but I also feel like it might actually do it. All right, yeah. Hey, that's pretty freaking great. Only spotted God over there was that it shouldn't have was the grass under this bridge. We can fix that really easily. Subtract with a linear gradient. Zoom into 50%. Linear gradient. Nope, wrong direction. Flip that over. There we go. That's better. Bring this up and balance it down, kind of like that. Come down to water level. There we go. We got the water. And now I can make it blue. Not too blue. Just a little bluer. A little more green even, actually. Green looks good. Which is me wanting my precious aqua, but still. What's it feel? Yeah, okay, cool. And now, you know me, I'm a big sucker for texture and clarity in water. Gives the whole thing a much more elaborate appearance. We're going to desaturate it a little bit. Because this is still a cloudy day photo, and this shouldn't be that incredibly vibrant. We're going to pull these back. Same type of deal, just not to the same degree. Let's come down here to where we've played with color sliders. Bring our greens down a bit. Let's do it like that. There we go. That'll help. We've already pushed the blues up a bit. This is where aqua's living, isn't it? Yeah, let's bring the aquas up. There we go. What I want to do here, I can dehaze it and get some darkness in. I can Something kind of nice about that. Let's do it. Let's see if I can do it with sliders here, with these sliders before I start bringing out dehaze. Oh, that's looking really good, guys. That's looking phenomenal. Yeah, I'm very happy. New mask, color range. I want to play with my greens, like if it'll let me. Let's get some green, something like that. Pretty good. Okay, cool. Can increase it, and that'll get me everything. Let's bring it down. So it's kind of just that's those sections there. Let's push them a little more green. Bring up the shadows, the saturation a little bit. It's better with or without. It's a little aggressive. Let's put the shadows back. Bring them up just a touch. Subtract with the brush. Let's get it out of the river. Let's just get it off the dock entirely. Get it off the dock, let's get it off the walls. There we go. Let's come back to our river mask here. Makes a difference. I feel like I'm overdoing it. I feel like I want something there. That's better. Cool. All right. I think there's one other thing I want to get, and that's kind of, then I'm pretty happy with how this photo's coming out. I think it's like one, there's like one spot. Let's try it. All right. New mask, object again. And I want to see if I can get the dock. Give me the dock. The good news is after this, when we do the black and white version, I can copy all these masks right over. And even though I'm going to change the settings, it'll still, I'll still be able to keep the dimensions of them, which will be great. That's pretty good. That's pretty great. All right, subtract brush. I don't need this stuff here. Just want the dock. All right, cool. Shadows up. It's a bit much. Highlights down. Might have to do a little bit more. Actually, this doesn't need to be a brush. I can just subtract with a linear gradient, can't I? Because I want to get rid of that line of the. I get rid of the line here for that strip of concrete. And I can do that with a very sharp linear gradient. Just like that. Better. Cool. So now, and with this one, I kind of want it to be kind of like that. Let's push a little more toward, not that much toward orange. A little more like that. More purple. Yeah, if we go green, now it's just, yeah, a little bit of purple in there. Desaturate a bit. Clarity stays where it is. Texture's coming up. Dehaze is going to make it look grimy. I'm going to bring the blacks down just a bit. A little bit of contrast. Or take the contrast down, honestly. That's probably the better way to go. Take the contrast down, put the saturation back. There we go. That's starting to look good. Finding the right line here is a slightly different problem, but there we go. Just the little details that make that stand out and make it, and kind of make it a thing that you immediately notice. I love this photo. This photo looks amazing, especially from starting point to ending point. Beautiful, 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 beautiful across the board. Yeah, I love it. Saturation might be a little heavy. Let's go ahead and bring that down a bit. Let's see. Yeah, bring the vibrance down a little bit. I don't think it's a bad idea. Bring the vibrance down a bit. The vibrance is more affecting the. Let's do saturation down. Let's do it that way. There we go. Who am I kidding? I like the high saturation version. I like that a lot. Why am I fighting this? Okay, so now we're going to sync between these two. I'm going to check all, and then I'll start unchecking stuff. I don't need the crop. I want the healing to stay. Don't need that. Don't need the calibration to stay. Color grading. Take that off. Didn't use it. Detail. Didn't use that. Lens corrections, didn't use. Transform, didn't use. Treatment and profile, don't want that. This stuff can all stay. Tone curve I didn't do anything with, and the color sliders can stay. Actually, let's turn them off. They're gonna reset anyway. So we're gonna synchronize now. And that should give us, here we go. So, all right, nice. So originally looked like this. Pasting the settings, now we have this. Which is already a good start. Let's keep working. Let's come in and adjust all of our stuff here, which shouldn't take too much. There's not a whole lot that needs to really change here. The sky is brighter, which is good. I do want to brighten the sky up a little bit more here. I think it makes sense on this side to brighten the sky up. And yeah, like even though we're probably gonna trend into a little bit of overexposing, I'm okay with this. I'd rather the sky be bright. Use that. Cool. Nice and stark. Happy with it. Could just dehaze and let it kind of bleed in. Actually, I'm going to go with that instead of the whites. Yeah, we're going to do it that way. That way it does it without overexposing. Cool. All right. So now we've got our river down here, which currently is, let me see the overlay. Turn it off. Turn it on. There we go. It's darker. I want to brighten it up. I want to bring the clarity all the way up on it because this one, yeah, we want it. We want the darkness there. Bring some of those blacks down.
it stand out. Can push color one way or the other. If I go too far, I'm going to start getting some weird fringing on there. So let's put these both back for now. Actually, pushing that toward purple, and then toward blue. That's pretty good. It makes it, yeah. We always like finding fun ways to edit water. We're gonna go with that. We have to fix the reflection on the end of the bridge there, but I think that's a bridge related thing. All right, color of the grass. Let's come to here, which this is now less about color, more about brightness, which I think it makes sense to sort of brighten those up a little bit now. There we go. Yeah, brighten that up. Brighten those right up. It makes this path stand out a little bit more. Yeah, gives the whole, brightens, subtle ways brightens the whole image. Love it. And then we got our dock, which of course we're gonna see what our colors are doing. We're gonna fix that edge in the water. Let's see the overlay here because I think that's touching on it. It's not actually. Okay, that's in the other one. We're gonna work on that in a sec. All right, so just working on the dock. Let's brighten it up. Not in an unrealistic way, but just put it back where it was. Brighten the shadows. Bring up the whites a little bit. I want to really just tread on that line of being it's part of the photo but still feels like it's its own separate distinct thing, and I think that's about where I want it to be. Is this brush doing a thing? No, I got rid of that section. That's fine. All right, I want a quick add brush. I want the feathering up. I want the density way down, and I want to just very lightly brush in a little more brightness over here. That's too much. Add brush. Density even lower. Density at like 11%. There we go. Just a very little bit of brightening just in this area here. Just to get that. Cool. So now we see the overlay. Yeah. Gives me a little bit more there. Helps the dock not feel like it's standing out. Okay. Let's go back to our river. See the overlay on that. Okay. We're going to use an add brush. And we're going to bring this up, flow up, density up. We'll lose the overlay because I want to be able to see the effect I'm having, and we're going to brush this in. There we go. We're going to get that. We're going to zoom in here. And we're going to get this as well. Going to get rid of that unsightly edge work. Cool. Excellent. That's looking really good. Okay, now let's come down to our color sliders because they've been reset since we were last here. So blues, yeah, blues we can brighten up a little bit. I don't know, are they better dark? Nah, they're better. Are they better as is, or are they better bright? They're kind of best as is. Leave them alone. Let's not rock the boat. Aquas, doing next to nothing, but let's bring them down because they give us a little more contrast in certain spots. Yeah, let's bring them down a bit. Greens. We know where our greens are. Our greens are brightening up the whole area. Let's brighten them. Let's let them be big and bright. That's good. Again, darkening this pathway here, which makes us notice it more because it's got contrast around it. Cool. All right, yellows. Yellows is a even more aggressive version of the greens. Yeah, we can bring them up a bit, I think. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that it also makes the dock stand out a little more. Great. Oranges. Oranges are our pathways. Our pathways and a couple of our buildings. I'm going to bring them down just a notch, not much, just down a little bit. Reds. Reds are going to smooth over that transition. We're going to bring up the reds just a bit. 45%. Purples. Purple's doing much. Purples are doing a lot in the water. That's right. We turn the water purple. Okay. Let's see if we set it like that. We brighten it up. brighten it up a little bit, not much. And then the magentas, same deal. It's all the water. Same kind of thing, I think. Down, up, down. Let's bring it down a bit. Let's do it like that. Cool. Yeah, that's once you do the masking on one, if you can just copy it over, it looks great. So yeah, there's our black and white version, which, man, I love this composition. I love this framing. I'm really, really, really happy with this. There's a couple more here I could do. Could jump into one of it. This one's a little more specific, but I think it accomplishes the same thing. I did a couple of vertical ones like this that I'd like to just. I want to play with the crop on this one real fast. I'll go ahead and set this to 1 star because I'm not done with. I'm not gonna do it today, but. I'll highlight that relationship between the dock and the building. There we go. That's some real. This vertical does a better job, I think, of conveying that relationship between, like, here we get a really nice relationship between the dock and the rest of the photo, and I'm really happy with that. I want to turn the texture down on this though. I think the whole photo's ended up a little bit over textured. Which actually I think is probably better off if I do this as well. If I turn the texturing down on the dock a bit, and then I turn the texture down on the water a little bit, just a bit. Not enough to be a huge difference, but enough to kind of clean it up for me. But yeah, comparatively, like, this shot I think is great at conveying kind of the whole world of the city down to the small detail. This one I think will do a really good job conveying a relationship between the big tall building and the dock sticking out into the water. This is gonna be a thing that comes back. That's one that I will do later. Let's see, some prototype versions that are okay. They're not as interesting. Once I kind of decided the dock needs to be involved in the photo, the photo became much more interesting, and you got that. So yeah, okay. Cool. All right, I'm gonna call it there. I got a few more photos to edit, but they're photos from my class. So, and I don't have explicit permission from my students to share their likeness on stream. It's an ongoing thing. Sometimes I ask, sometimes I don't. But I want to edit the photos I took of them so I can post them and show people how cool my students are, because they're all fucking great, including just my 2 awesome students and Preston the dog, who was there and looked phenomenal. So yeah, it's just the photos we did today. We did this one. We played with this guy a bit, just to nice black and white there of the city over the river. We did this. This is our bridge to Terabithia shot. This one, same shot, just this one time it's the alien invasion shot. And then, in my mind, the piece de resistance, the black and white looking into the city, and then the color version looking into the city, and the black and white version. Which I can't speak for all of these. Either the color one or the black and white of this will be available on my Etsy store and on my website. Which, if you go to erichackler.com/photography, you will find easy links to both. So yeah, those are available there. Postcards, I make the announcement every time, but postcards, 4 different unique styles from 4 different amazing places in the United States that you can throw a stamp on and share with anyone you like and connect with whoever you wish to with a medium of cool photography. And of course, they all have the QR code on them, which means you can scan that and throw in a zip code, and you will add your postcard to the tracking map, and we can see where all the postcards have gone around the country and hopefully around the world one day, crossing our fingers. So there's that. Also, just as a final note, as we just admire this picture, final note: we are now more than a year into the Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and while it has become a thing that most of us have either have learned to live with, or it's just been the war, all wars are popular for 90 days, and then it's then people start losing interest, and we have short attention spans because thank you social media.
it is easy to forget that that is still going on. It is still going on. Support is still needed, and that can be nominal support. Just as long public, the U.S. and NATO and the European Union have been doing a wonderful job of supplying Ukraine with weapons and support and things that they need. And a big reason that they continue to do that is because public opinion is saying that still is necessary and still something we care about. So if you find an opportunity to do it, keep putting it out there. Keep letting people know that we haven't forgotten Ukraine and that Russia's injustices toward them really should not be allowed to stand. It is a slow process. It's going to be a long process, but Russia thought they were going to be done with this in 3 days, and they're now a year and 3 days in and have not made it yet. So, like, if you know me, you know I'm political. You know this channel has political leanings. But yeah, it's about photography. It's about relationships. It's about empathy. Everything we do is about empathy and about connecting with connections, either whether we're doing photos like this to practice, our ability to connect, let's connect a dock to a building as and just to get us thinking about connections, or we're actually talking about empathy and connecting with people. But there are millions and millions of people around the world. There's, Ukraine is certainly not the only conflict, but millions of people facing injustices, and the way to counteract that as much as we can, assuming if you have money to donate, phenomenal, do it, absolutely. If you have time to donate, awesome, do it. But the very least we can do is be empathetic, care about the plight of people who are worse off than we are, and keep sharing their stories, amplifying their voices, and making sure they're not forgotten. So I'm gonna just a thing I wanted to bring up since we crossed the 1 year anniversary this weekend. As we keep telling stories, remember that stories are the thing that get us through the dark times. We turn to art when we can't turn to anything else. So hopefully through sharing art and sharing our intentions and our empathy, and our vulnerability, we can help people who we can help create a more empathetic and honest and vulnerable world in the right way. Vulnerability is a very powerful thing. With that said, be safe, be well. Thank you for joining me on this. Thank you to Stephanie and Shelby Lynn for your guys' wonderful and chaotically beautiful beautifully chaotic. Chaotically beautiful also works. I'm going to go with beautifully chaotic management of the chat. And until next time, stay safe, be well, make art, and keep kicking ass. See you soon.